Welcome to the Matamu 2 podcast. And we're back doing that thing that you enjoy. And we have a guest. Woohoo!
Hey.
Welcome to the Matamu 2 podcast. Sherry,
Thank
please
you.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Sherry and I am an eater of food.
Yes.
All kinds of food.
All kinds of food. Huh?
Okay. Unless it's raw.
You don't bagua?
No, I don't.
You don't even have allergies?
I can't do lactose or gluten, but do I care?
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no.
Well, I care because lactose intolerance is it's a ghetto, man.
It hurts, but it's
terrible.
It's love with hurts.
Okay. That's a good way to do it. Now, in today's episode of the Matamu 2 podcast, this is episode 3, we are going to talk about potatoes. Potatoes.
Waru.
Is it potatoes or potatoes?
Potatoes.
Some people actually spell it with a potato. Like, why are you spelling it with an E, though? That's so weird.
So long as you've communicated with it.
I know.
Yeah.
So now, before we go into the episode, I just want to shout out a few of our listeners. So we have listeners from every continent except South America and Australia. Can you imagine that?
They don't know you yet.
Soon.
Yay!
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out to Faith in Nigeria. She really loves the show and she's lactose intolerant like me. So she was like, oh my God, I feel you. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Anita, who is in Papua New Guinea, which is like the farthest place from this world. But she's enjoying the show. And a special shout out to Kemi, who is one of those mutants who can actually drink milk, but she doesn't like milk. It's so odd. Yeah.
So weird.
So weird, right?
So weird.
Me, if I could drink milk, my God.
It's straight from the cow.
No. That's how you get like milk sickness. It's a thing, right? It's totally
Is
a
it?
thing. Yeah.
Is it?
Yes.
But it's milk. It's milk. You'll die anyway.
You will.
Matamu 2.
Okay, now let's go into episode 3. We're talking about Waru. We're going to talk about this favorite thing that people like. You like Waru, don't you?
I love Waru.
In all its forms.
However you want to make it.
Now, did you know that Waru is in the same family with the tomato?
Yes, I did.
Oh, look at you, so fancy. Very few people actually know that. Waru is in the same family. It's also in the same family with the chili pepper.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be interesting to try and crossbreed Waru with chili. you get the heat already in there.
But maybe that's why they all taste good together.
Possibly,
Yeah,
since they're in the same,
Mm-hmm.
the same WhatsApp. But then there's also members of that same family which have psychoactive substances. For example, there's a plant called the belladonna that's full of scopolamine. I'm sure in the mid-2000s, you had stories of people who would be, they would salimia somebody in Tao and then they shtuka that they have gone to the ATM and they have withdrawn everything and given it over peacefully. Now, psychoactive substances like scopolamine actually can do that to you. So it's the same family with tomatoes and waru. And I'm just like, can you imagine how trippy it must have been to be the person who discovered that this one actually trips you up and this one is edible.
What were they doing? Like, I need details. I need details. Like, what the hell were they doing?
It would have just been interesting, just watching people just getting just high.
Can you imagine just giving people this food and then they're like, no, kuleni by the way.
Because how?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And then just watch them trip. Huh?
Now, the green parts of potatoes, I know if you've had potatoes, sometimes you see these parts that have gone green. If they're exposed to light, they may actually create enough poison to make you have a really bad day.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So that's why they say that you shouldn't eat waru that has either gone bad or like it started to go green, especially if you're not keeping it in a very dark place. Because the green parts now, they start to photosynthesize and they start to make the poison. So they're glycoalkaloids. Hey, hear me.
It's not chemistry class.
It's not chemistry class, but so this poison is supposed to deter pests and bacteria from eating the waru.
Okay.
So yeah, if you see your waru is green, throw it away.
But clearly, from what you've seen, from our history with food, everything that's good has a downside.
Of course.
It's gonna kill you. So
not everything is good for you.
you're here for a good time, not a long time, by the way.
Now, did you know that Warus were first domesticated in like 10,000 years ago in southern Chile? And extreme northeastern Bolivia.
Yes.
And then the Spanish went around with the Warus. Because Spaniards are those guys, huh?
Me drop you a bag of Waru real quick.
Like, here, have some Waru.
Like, you don't know what this is?
But it's interesting that it's everywhere in the Americas. More or less each and every one of the indigenous communities in the Americas did figure out Waru at one point or the other. And people used to say, no, it's everybody who did it. But scientific genetic study actually traced it all the way to this one specific valley. Where in that valley right now, you have maybe 100 different varieties of Waru in just one little place. Like each family has maybe like 50 or 60 different types of Waru. It's so interesting. And here we just have Waru. Wash it. Next story in die.
But are we complaining though?
No, we are not.
Exactly.
Not at all. Not at all.
We have the best kind of Waru.
Do we though?
It tastes good. Really? It tastes good.
Maybe you say that.
It tastes good.
It does taste good. That we have to give it, because Waru in this country, I will get into that. But before I get into that, I just want to remind you that you can interact with me on my social media pages. That is at Rumak on all platforms. The podcast is very active on those platforms, by the way. I don't know if do you follow me on?
Yes,
you
I
do.
Yeah. I subscribed everywhere.
Do you? Kombele kuliko wengine. Now, did you know that Waru is the 4th largest food crop in the world?
Wow.
Like, everybody in this world
should be number one.
No, number one is maize, of course. And then followed by wheat and rice.
Wheat.
And then
rice.
Then now Waru comes in there.
All those make sense. No.
They do.
Yeah, they do make sense.
In the 18th century, some Englishmen who did not actually like Warus, because who doesn't like Warus in this world? I don't know. It's crazy. They formed a society for the prevention of unwholesome diet.
What?
And me, I suspect that they were just keeping their potatoes very poorly, so they had to spend way too much time on the chamber pot.
No, but also, like with most English or whatever, especially the upper class, back in the day, they used to look down on anything that grows
from the ground.
Yeah. Exactly. Nichafu.
King, is it Louis the 10th or is it Louis the 12th? Had tried to make potatoes popular way back then, by literally forcing people to eat Waru. And guys was like, nah, fam, we're not about this life. And the thing that he did was that he used reverse psychology on them. He had his Warus in a farm in like one place. So he put his guards at the farm and told them to guard it, but not too closely at night. And now people, when they saw that this thing is being guarded, they're like, Allah, okay.
Funny, what's this?
What is this? Well, let's go and then go and work. So that's actually how.
So go dig up Waru.
Yeah, you go and then you go and plant in your place.
They really had nothing else going on for them.
Very, very few things, to say the least. So in 1845, there's a plant disease known as a late blight. It's caused by a fungus-like microorganism, and it spread through Western Ireland and part of the Scottish Highlands, and caused crop failures that led to the Great Irish Famine. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes, I have.
Yes, but how are they just eating Waru? Is that like how?
You can, and you won't die.
But just Waru. Well, it does have almost everything you need.
Exactly.
I'll get into that later. Now, that famine was actually caused because everybody was planting the same the same kind of waru. So this thing could actually ruka from farm to farm to farm to farm. And we had actually a similar problem here in Kenya about maybe I think 10 years ago. There was like kulikuwa na ugonjwa ya waru, and there's a time like even getting fryos was hard. You couldn't get, like, you'd hear that waru has run out
when they pandered from 80 bob to 120.
Yes, that's the time. Like maybe 10 years ago. And what was happening was that because everybody was planting the same kind of waru, the ugonjwa could go from plant to plant to plant to plant to plant. We are actually facing a similar challenge with bananas. This is just an aside. Yes, we're talking about waru today, but this is just an aside because I love bananas. We have a similar problem with bananas. There's a virus. There's a virus that's affecting bananas across the world. Probably like 90% of bananas come from like one sucker in Argentina or something like that. Like these Cavendish, they're called Cavendish bananas, the ones that we all love to eat. This disease has actually affected like all Cavendish bananas. So like 90% of the world, because everybody's using that one banana nini, everybody has that problem. So they were saying that in maybe 2 decades, we may not have bananas anymore. So, it's very scary.
Wait, so gone banana bread?
All of it.
Banana pudding?
Everything. No bananas. None at all. So what are the different types of potatoes you have seen? Except ninis are not potatoes, by the way, just putting it out there. Ngwashi, sweet potatoes are not potatoes. There are potatoes in the potato.
It's called a
family.
Potato. It's a potato. If it's called a potato, it's a... What?
They are not potatoes in the potato family.
They're potatoes somewhere.
Tubers. They are tubers from a vine.
They're potatoes somewhere.
But what are the different types of potatoes you have seen around?
The kawaida potatoes. I really came unprepared.
I don't know if you've ever seen, they call them heirloom. Okay, let me say it like a Kamba. Heirloom potatoes.
Like the nyanya.
Yes. So these ones, they're of different colors. You can get red, you can get
purple.
I've seen purple. I've seen like golden. They call them golden potatoes. They legit look like they're golden. There's another color, orange. Yeah, imagine.
I have immediately recoiled because what?
I know, right? Why would you eating orange potatoes? But we do eat, like, Pringles. And I will get into Pringles in a bit. You should see Sherry's face just looking at me. She's like, what is wrong with this one? In South America is where you'll actually get very many heirloom potatoes. Here you may not, because they're all brought anyway. But up there in South America, you get really many different colors. And they say that the beta carotene, the same thing that makes carrots orange, it's in the red, in the gold, in the orange potatoes. Yeah. And it's very healthy for you and all that stuff. But we don't eat carrots anyway, so moving on swiftly. I don't know if you remember when a certain American fast food brand came into Kenya and people were raising noise about them importing potatoes from Egypt. Do you remember that fiasco?
Yes.
There was a lot of a hullabaloo.
But I get why they were doing that. We don't have a really sustainable seed for potatoes here.
Actually, it wasn't even about the seed. The kind of potatoes that that fast food brand uses, they tend to have a higher starch content than the ones that we've been planting. So that's why their fries tend to be very crispy because of the starch. So like when the potato hits the hot oil, the starch just crisps up and the Maillard reaction. And all
so
that
they're
stuff.
crispy on the outside and then nice.
Then soft and gooey in the inside. So they tried with the local potatoes and they realized that it's not working. So they had to now just start importing like pre-cut, and there was such a hullabaloo about it, and they were like, no, but we have potatoes, but you didn't have the right kind of potatoes.
Yeah.
What I like is that they actually did come later on and bring in the right seed and start working with farmers to put out proper potatoes for them. And it's really cool. It's really cool how that little difference, just a little bit more starch. It's such a big difference. Huku tumezoea ni waru.
This is why you should have paid more, more attention to biology and
probably.
chemistry. We know all these things.
But did we? 10.
Tulisomea kwa dirisha.
Do you know of other heirloom potato varieties. You can drop me a note on my socials. That is at Rumak, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, kila mahali, it's at Rumak, spelled REUMAC. And now to move it on, if you see a poster written Muganga kutoka Tanga, it's actually possible that poster is being held on by potato starch. It's used as a glue in the textile industry and in manufacturing paper.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Because that thing, have you ever tried to move one of those posters?
Why would I even touch one?
There's a light pole right outside my house where the waganga kutoka Tanzania always come and keep on putting their posters. And one day we tried to remove one of those posters. It had been rained on and everything, but it was not coming off at all. Like that thing was held. In October of 1995, the potato became the first vegetable to be grown in space.
Yes.
I'm sure that one you knew.
I know how they do it, and it's very disturbing. I would not.
No. You're talking about The Martian. I'm sure everybody watched The Martian, and you remember Mark Watney growing potatoes from his poop. But actually, that may be the way to do it if we're looking at sending people into space and keeping them fed. The idea is that potatoes contain most of the vitamins that a human being needs to survive. And actually, in episode 1, I spoke about milk being the only thing you need. So aside from an all-milk diet, if you were to get a diet of potatoes covered in butter and cheese, that would be basically most of the nutrients that you need.
That is my next meal. It has to be. It sounds so good.
It does though.
It does.
Yeah. So like if you get potatoes, cover them in butter and have some cheese. So that covers the carbohydrates, the fats, the proteins from the cheese. And I'm sure you would get very tired of eating that though after a few days.
Okay, I've had an experience of eating potatoes every day. Not out of now when you're growing up, my folks used to do this side hustle of farming. There's a time it was exactly it was some trend. So folks says this time they were doing strawberries, so we'd have a lot in the house. Then they did cucumbers, we had a lot. That's another story. Then there's potato season. My God.
Oh my God.
We ate potatoes for every single meal.
Wow.
Every single meal. Like for weeks.
Did you not get tired of that?
No, eventually you're just like, again. You boil them, you roast them, you fry them, you saute. Okay, potatoes are great.
They're fantastic.
But every single day, it's like ugali kavu. Ugali kavu.
Cannot.
Just eat ugali with air. That's how I used to feel like by the
I hear you.
To some point.
We were talking about the uses of potatoes. You've said you can fry them, you can saute, you can boil, you can mash, anything short of eating them raw. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But did you know that potatoes are also used to make vodka?
Yes, but do they still do that?
You can actually still get potato vodka. Okay, not most people around the world are now doing grain vodkas. Yeah. So whether it's wheat or
now
rice,
it's become more or less of a homebrew. It's like a homebrew kind of vodka.
Yes. It's very easy. Just like throw them in a pot.
But why do people drink vodka?
That is a question I cannot answer.
Just eat the potato. Just
make your life easy.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about potatoes without talking about potato crisps and Pringles, to be very specific. First, they're too perfect. Like you open a packet and all of them are that exact shape. They're technically not potato crisps because they're an extruded potato product made from dried potato powder, among other things. So that's how they get that perfect shape and they're always just that perfect. And a court in 2009 in the UK, the Supreme Court of Judicature, so this is like the top court, it ruled that Pringles are in fact potato crisps and that Procter & Gamble owed them some money in taxes.
They took potatoes to court.
Yes, they've actually been in court. In America, they refused to actually call them potato crisps. They're just like, no,
makes sense.
These are just a potato product.
Yes.
And that's how
they've
not been paying taxes. But in the UK, they're like, nah, fam. We want all your taxes. But cash me dead. Hey. Okay, I love Pringles, but my God, those things, they're too perfect.
And also expensive.
Yeah, for nothing.
Yeah. Thank you for saying for nothing. Thank you so much. They're not all that. You know what's all that?
Yes.
Masala sticks. Made from potatoes.
It's still an extruded product.
No, they chop up potatoes.
No, I'm sorry. Masala sticks are still an extruded product.
Chevda.
Okay, maybe chevda. What I like is kettle chips, kettle crisps. Okay, nice. You have to talk like a Kenyan, not like an American. But Americans call them kettle chips. They take the potato. They don't even peel the potato.
Yeah.
They just use a mandolin, get the crisps, and then fry them up. Toss with some salt. Oh my God, those things are so good. Let's learn something about sherry. What's the weirdest form of waru or waru recipe that you have ever eaten?
Okay, this one is probably. Please don't come for me. No.
We're not going to come for you. Relax. This is a safe space.
It's based on where I'm from.
Uh-huh.
So as kids, you have visitors. So chapos are made that day.
Yes.
So there are chapos left over.
Yes.
And then, so they'd boil potatoes. Now you're having them for lunch the next day. They'd boil potatoes and then throw in either pumpkin leaves or spinach.
Okay.
And then you'd eat them like that.
Wow.
You don't even mash.
Wow.
Bruh, you just eat like that with salt.
Wow.
It was good then. It was so good. Right now, by the way, I can't.
I think what used to happen is that we had very simple palettes.
Yeah, by the way.
Possibly. Maybe.
I don't think I can continuously eat the same kind of food now that I used to eat then. Right now.
Right now, you can't do it.
I can't. I used to have Blue Band with spaghetti and milk. Like, what the hell was that?
What was that?
I don't know. In one plate.
That is so odd. So, what's your favorite form of waru to eat?
Fries.
100%.
Fries.
100%.
And then those people who put their ketchup on the side, what are you doing? Yeah, and you, mister,
Guy.
you will dip one chip
I will
at
not
a
even
time.
dip. Me, because I'll have a squeeze bottle and just each fry gets its own little dab
That
of
does
ketchup.
not make sense.
But you see,
Usher them in that ketchup.
but
Usher them.
it's not the same.
Ketchup Haishi.
It's not the same. Now, my problem is that I love my fries crispy. There's this one specific joint I'll go and get fries in Jammu. Shout out Adizas. I love that place. They know just how to refry. You know, you fry them fast, then you chill them for a bit, then you refry so they're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. I love it.
I think Steers used to have such good fries back
They
in the
really
day.
did. They had the best when they
And then you
started.
had the seasoning and the barbecue sauce.
Not anymore. But anyway, so like the thing about drenching your fries in ketchup is that the fries then start to get soggy.
It's fine. It's potato.
No,
back into its primary
I
form
want
altogether.
I want it crispy.
It will still be mush in your stomach. I mean, come
I
on.
know, but it's all
It's
about
gonna
the
get there.
mouthfeel. It's all about the mouthfeel.
Well, clearly, hey, I like soft things. I like mushy things.
Dun,
since
dun,
that's what you're
dun.
trying to imply.
Now, what's been your go-to recipe during this pandemic?
Does it have to involve potatoes?
It doesn't.
Okay, so no, this is nasty. Okay, it's not. And it involves avocados.
Ooh.
It involves avocados. So you have your instant ramen, ama your noodles.
Okay.
Shout out Indomie. So you cook it to dryness and then you mash
Yes.
your avocado and throw it in there till it's so good. The salty and then with the avocado creaminess.
No, I don't know. I don't. Imagine, maybe this is the point that me and you stop being friends because my God, what is that? What is that?
It's a 5-minute dish and you swallow it in the same ass time.
It's fine. It's fine.
For real, it's really
fine.
tamu.
Imagine,
it's really tamu.
see, I will just make my Indomie and eat it the way I know.
With soup.
Just a bit. Just a little bit. But ramen, okay. We'll do ramen someday. someday. And that's about it for our topic for today on Warus. Thank you so much for joining me today, Sherry.
Thank you for having me.
And you will come again another day.
Will I?
Will you?
Are we going to talk about Uji at some point?
At some point.
Njahe. No, Njahe.
Njahe. You want to come back from Njahe?
Are we talking about Njahe?
Yes, we are going
to
talk
my God,
about Njahe.
I'm coming back
You're
from
coming
Njahe.
back for that, right?
I'm coming back.
Right. It's a plan. Thank you so much, dear listener, for spending some time with us. On the next episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about a firm favorite on many of our Kenyan dinner tables. It's going to be ugali.
Yay.
And that's the point where you go, yay. So, listeners, send in your favorite dish that goes with ugali on my social media handles at Rumak on all platforms. I've been your host, Rumak, and I'm telling you to keep calm and love Waru.